Hi Libra, welcome to your 2020 Tarot Scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. For those of you that joined me through 2019, from 2018, for those of you that go right back to the beginning, my hardcore ride or dies, you guys know who you are. I'm truly grateful for all of your support, for every single one of you that have shown up for me in some way, shape or form. It really does mean a lot to me, and I'm truly humbled and very grateful for all of the time and effort that you put into being a part of the Reydiant Reality community. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me or a personal year ahead reading with me, you can do so on the website addressed below. If you would like to get a past life regression session or a future life progression session, you can do so on the website address in the link description box, but on the link in the description box below. With that said, as always, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So here we go. A brand new year, a brand new decade, right? A whole new 10 years to make something amazing happen with your life on your life path. So you get one destiny card, one direction card for each month of the year, and we'll just go straight in. January, bam! Right, and this is beautiful because the first card out sets the tone for the year, right? And your first destiny card for the year ahead is the Sun card, and I can hear a lot of you taking like a collective woo, finally, right? Because Libras have been through it, you guys have been under it, and you know, nobody can say that you haven't. And I'll say this to you, the fact that you get the Sun card in January, this is about blessings, it's about abundance, it's about happiness, it's about joy. It's about you because don't forget, this is where the conjunction takes place, right? And literally within a couple of days of a lunar eclipse in the opposite sign. So you know, this is going to be interesting for you guys, but it suggests that something about this this conjunction is going to be a beneficial energy for you. Something about this conjunction, it starts or sets in motion a chain of events that is going to be harmonious or blessing for you. This is beautiful. What a way to start the year with the Sun card. Ultimate blessings, ultimate life, ultimate vitality, right? Absolutely fantastic. Let's give it some context and see what it might relate to. All right, and you get the Seven of Cups, right? So this is an end to the confusion. This is where the Sun comes across. It cannot even comes across. This is where the Sun comes along and dispels the fog, right? This is where the Sun comes along and shines light on your life and says, look, boom, this is what you needed. This is because the Seven of Cups can be about confusion. It's a very Neptunian energy, and what it says to me is this is about the Sun card saying to you, your path is now clear, right? January, it will all come into sharp focus for you. If you felt like you were looking through fog, or things were fuzzy at the edges, or you didn't quite have enough information or knowledge, this is where the Sun comes in and it brings everything into sharp focus. You can see where you're going, you understand your path, you know who you are, and more importantly, because the Seven of Cups can be sometimes you spreading yourself too thin, January is going to bring you this clarity. Unlike for most people, January is going to bring you this sharp clarity of, I know what I'm supposed to put my time and effort and energy into. I know what's a waste of time now. And with that surety comes a lot of confidence. And with that confidence, this is where you can move across or along your life path and really start to make things happen for yourself. What a fantastic way to start the year. All right, so in February, wow, it just gets better. What's higher than the Sun? The universe. The Tree of Life card is an extra card in this deck, so there are 23 major arcanas, and this one is kind of outside even that deck, outside even the Fool card, and that's in itself is very powerful. I don't have time to go into it, but this is the Tree of Life. It's the Kabbalah tree, and what that represents is February is going to be a time where you can see divine intervention in your life, where you can see the hand of the universe, God, fate, whatever you want to call it, working in your life for your favor. This is where blessings show up. It's also where, I'll say this to you, February is a month where you want to keep yourself open. You want to allow yourself to be able to move unilaterally. You want to, what do I mean by that? Wherever you feel pushed or prodded to go, wherever you feel like the universe is making you show up, or wants you to be in a specific place, go along, because that is the hand of fate. It's the hand of God. It's whatever you want to call it, right? Is moving you in a direction that is going to create something truly wonderful in your life. You're aware of your path. You're aware of, this is about true co-creation of your life path and true understanding of the wisdom of the universe. Sometimes as human beings, we have experiences or whatever, and we're like, I don't understand, what could be the purpose behind this? Whereas January and February are going to bring you that clarity. You have that kind of, all right, okay, I understand how this is working out, what's going on here. And the card that's jumped out for you is the Empress. February looks like a fantastic month for money. For you guys especially, this looks absolutely beautiful. February could really be a great time for money, for abundance. It looks like there are going to be a lot of invites. Women, whether you're a woman or a man is irrelevant, women are going to feature quite heavily for you this in February. This is where you get a lot of support from your female figures. Some might be in positions of power to really help and assist you. This February just looks absolutely beautiful. The Empress is all things fertile. She's lush and beautiful, and she offers the best of everything that she touches. And this is about the universe, the hand of fate. This is divine intervention and blessings working in your life on a material level. I mean, wow, absolutely wow. Okay, so let's have a look at March. Oh, sorry, having mic issues with this jumper. All right, so March, you get the Temperance card, right? So this is interesting, because even though these amazing things are going to be happening for you straight out of the gate of the year, right? This is going to be lighter, brighter, and easier for you than any other sign here. The Temperance card really does suggest that you are feeling this overwhelming gratitude. It's like you're not going to be like, oh yeah, look at me, everything I touch is, turns to gold. You're going to be more humbled for it. You're going to be more grateful for it. It's like you're broadcasting this continuous signal of gratitude and love for the universe. This is almost like moments where you're saying to yourself, like, how many miracles can show up in my life? Like, how many amazing blessings and opportunities can I have? Like, I can't believe this is happening for me. You're finding that balance, and it's kind of like you're saying to yourself, yeah, all this amazing stuff is happening on a practical level, but look at how different and how blessed I am on an internal level as well. And this is a really powerful place to be, because a lot of people, it's like when things are great, they're like, they kind of forget the spiritual side of life, and they don't really do much with it. When things get tough, it's like, oh my gosh, they start to pray, they start to meditate, all the rest of it. It's kind of like you're riding this wave, and you're just saying to yourself, you know what, rather than kind of forget that this has all come from that divine source of energy, I'm going to continue down this path. It's like you're bringing that balance of the spiritual into the practical, and the practical into the spiritual. Very, very powerful use of our energy. All right, so let's have a look, see at the direction. What's the context? And it is for the Ten of Swords, right? So, and this is interesting because the Ten of Swords is an ending or a completion. For a select few of you, this might just be that you decide to change your belief system. It might be that that you're looking at all of the stuff that shapes up in your life. This can't just be luck. It can't just be coincidence. There's got to be something more behind it. And with the Ten of Swords, it does suggest that whatever challenges or difficult times that you've had let's say over the last previous 10 years, this all starts to make sense to you. And with the Ten of Swords here, it basically says that you will be finding a balance. You'll be understanding how, the reason that some of the stuff has happened for you. And it will also, for a lot of you, in relation to some of the great things that show up, you might have memories resurface where you say, wow, you know what, if I hadn't learned that back then, I don't think I'd be as grateful for this as I am now. right? Which is, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. It really is, because it's like you really are doing that Libran thing of finding the balance within yourself. And the Temperance card represents Sagittarius. So far, apart from the Empress, there's not really any energy that represents Libra. So it's like you're doing what Librans do best. You're finding a way to mediate, between two things. And those two things are your physical, practical, tangible, material life and your inner, internal, spiritual life, right? What a way to be. Gosh, that's what we're all striving for, right? Okay, so April, you've got the Faith card, right? So this is where things do not take a more serious turn, but this is where you will start to have to pay attention to the practical stuff. And that's not to say that, you have a peak experience and then it runs out. It just may be that for some of you, you're starting the process of something in April. This looks like where you could be beginning a new project, you could be starting a new business. It looks like you're laying the foundation. So if you're starting a new business, there's a whole bunch of paperwork, but also, sometimes you have to get insurance, governing bodies. This is the Hierophant card after all. It represents the status quo, the rules, the regulations, the things that we have to have in place in order to do what it is that we want to do. So it looks like that's, April is a big month for that for you. It's interesting as well that you have this card that says faith, and I talked about, what you believe and how you understand, the things that you've been through and what they might mean for you. The other thing that I keep hearing in my mind as well now that I look at it is your faith has been rewarded. So whatever that means to you, let's have a look. Let's give it some context. The Ace of Wands. I mean, this is definitely a new start. This is a new beginning of some sort. For some of you, it's about a business idea that you've wanted to start. For others, this will be about a new job. For some of you, this is about putting together the framework and the foundation for you to move forward with a specific plan. And because it comes through the guise of the Ace of Wands, this could be about some form of intellectual property that you create. It could be a book, it could be a blog. This is about you getting the paperwork, getting the legal documents. It could be that you are, maybe some of you are getting a patent. Like sometimes for something that you want to create, you have to have it patented, right? So that nobody can steal your idea and all the rest of it. April looks like the month where you're doing that, but it could be that you're doing the legwork around getting insured for whatever it is that you want to do. As an example, if you wanted to be, say, a massage therapist, I'll use this as an example because it's a path that I've taken. As a massage therapist, you have to get your qualifications, you have to then be registered, and then on top of that, you have to get insured, right? So as you have all of those things in place, then you can start to do it, but that represents doing the legwork. April's a beautiful month. It's a beautiful month for you starting something or making something tangible, putting those finishing touches on finally getting moving with something. How amazing. All right, so May, you've got the World card, right? This is where you level up. It's where you step up, where something that you've been working on or towards has tangible results, right? So you're putting it in place and starting the journey in April, but here in May, this is where it takes off. This is where all the hard work and the hard effort, this is where all the faith, this is where all the moments of, why is this happening? I wouldn't have chosen this, when secretly you did. Right? This is where it all starts to culminate. This is where it all starts to become worth it. And the World card represents Saturn, so it represents achievement through mastery. The only way that we ever truly master anything is by repetition. So those moments where you might have had your frustrations and thought, what, how much can I do? How many more times do I need to go through this thing? As many as you need in order to master the skill, whatever that means to you. And then you've got the Knight of Pentacles. I mean, this is amazing. So I'll say this to you, if for those of you that have wanted to build a house, right, this could be about that. You could have been getting the planning permission. You could have been, maybe raising the capital for the piece of land that you wanted. Here in May, this is where you can start doing that, right? This is where you can start putting it into practice. For those of you that it is that. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is always physical, tangible, practical, can sometimes even represent a mode of transport. So I will say this to you, for a select few of you, this is the time where you will maybe pass your driving test and then you get on the road. For others of you, this could be where you're changing or exchanging your car. This is the right time to do it as well, because you've got the World card, which suggests that something for a long time. The Knight of Pentacles, a mode of transport. So May looks like a really good time for you. If your car's old and you know you need to get a new one, May is the time for you to do that. It's the time for you to move forward with it. If that doesn't apply to you and none of that is for you, on the other end of it, this is where you actually start seeing, if it is a house that you've been waiting to get planning permission for, this is where you start to see the first bricks laid, right? Or at least the foundations for it. For others of you where it isn't that, this could literally be about your work or a project that you have started. This could be where you finally start to see a return or a reward of some sort come from it. All right, so let's have a look at June, halfway through the year now. All right, you got the Tower card, right? So big realizations, big understandings. And because it comes after the Knight of Pentacles and the World card, it could suggest that, you could have a moment here where you're saying to yourself, wow, you know what? Why did I wait so long to go down this path? What was it that was holding me back? It's a realization. Whenever you get the Tower card, it's an understanding or a realization that comes suddenly. Sometimes it can come through upheaval because it has that Uranus energy. It does sometimes suggest that it can be a little bit shocking or a little bit surprising, right? Let's give it some context. It's about the Six of Wands. So your everyday routine, something about your everyday is going to be shaken up here in June. Now, obviously, if you're starting a business, starting to build a home, starting to move forward with a specific project, obviously everyday stuff is going to change. The Tower, big change, big upheaval, big realizations. The Six of Wands, small wins, everyday moments of victory and success. And this is great because it could, for some of you, this will be about more sales. For others of you, this will be about your daily routine starting to change. For a select few of you, this could be, it could be a fertile time, or it could be a time where a new baby shows up. For some of you, this does feel like it has a familial feel, right? So when I say that, it could be that you're, something about your family life or your daily life for your family starts to change or evolve, which is interesting and exciting. All right, so July. Let's have a look, see, and you get the Chariot card. Beautiful energy, victory, success, right next to the Six of Wands. I mean, this is beautiful for you guys because it means that you start the summer strong. You'll be feeling a very, very big boost of confidence here in July. This is a retrograde season, and interestingly enough, this card actually does represent Cancer as a sign, and July is Cancerian time, right? So you'll be feeling this energy, which does suggest that something about home, something about that energy, something about your space, but also your confidence in your own space, in your own skin as well, comes to light. And you've had a card jump out, and it is the Knight of Swords. July is going to be a very fast month for you. Lots of communication, lots of information passing back and forth. There could be a lot going on online. There could be a lot of emails, a lot of text messages. There could be a lot of people asking for your information, a lot of people asking for your input as well. So July is a really fast month. So it's important that you find some way to make sure that your everyday routine, June, that is about to change in a big way, you've got the confidence and the strength to see it through and to be good at whatever it is that you're doing, which is beautiful. But the thing is, because it is the Knight of Swords, things are going to be moving so fast that you might for a moment think to yourself, do you know what, I just need 5 minutes to put my feet on the ground. It's going to be a very fast moving month for you, and it's important that you do find at least an hour every day or every other day where you can just kind of take a moment and decompress. All right, so August. You got the Fool card. New things, new places, new people, new beginnings, right? This is beautiful. So far, I would say apart from probably Virgo, you have the best summer. All of the other signs had a really tough summer for 2020. So interesting. Let's have a look at the Fool card. Let's give it some context. All right. So the Hierophant, interesting, because you've got the Hierophant twice. It's a double hit of that energy. Now, this is about the rules, the regulations. It might be that something comes up for review. It might be that something needs to be looked at. It may be, for some of you, that you're starting a second business or you're starting a new job. For some of you, this is about a change in your status quo. So for a select few of you, this could be, I mean, this really could be about a change of job. It could be that the place that you work at or the company that you work for changes residence. That's definitely a possibility with those two cards. It could be as well that by surprise, a commitment could show up. There might be something that you're asked to commit to, and you will have to decide sort of suddenly. Be careful with that, because in July, like I said, there's going to be a lot of stuff flying around for you personally, and also I think the July has a Mercury retrograde, so try and make the decision in August. Try not to go into it, if that makes any sense. September, you've got the Hanged Man, right? This is where you can take a minute, take a breather. The Hanged Man is about stasis and stillness. This is going to be a very fast, a very dynamic, a very packed year for you, right? And with the Hanged Man in September, it really is a time for you to take a break, take a vacation, to have some time off. It's a time for you to check in with your spiritual needs. It's a time for you to get back that spirituality, because it looks like as of April right the way through August, that's going to be pretty much all on the external. Whereas, the first sort of bit of the year, maybe February and March, gives you a bit more of the internal spiritual stuff. September will be the time where you kind of get a moment to say, right, okay, I need to get back to that. All right. It will permeate the whole year, but I feel like you'll only really sort of have time for yourself in September, once we get to September. Before that, it will probably be January and February. So take it when it comes. To give it some context, you've got the Seven of Pentacles. September will be a slow month. September will be a month where everything just kind of moves at a pace. My advice to you is take that time. Use that time where things are easy, where things are smoother, where things move slower. It's important for you to utilize that energy. With the Seven of Pentacles, this is about where you put your time, so where you invest your time and especially your resources. Be very, very selective around this time, right? For those of you that celebrate at the end of September, happy birthday to you. Be very, very selective about what you do, about what you invest your time in, about what you invest your resources in September, because whatever it is that you do invest your time and resources in, it won't give you immediate results. And because this whole year has kind of trained you to expect immediate results, because that's what you've got so far, when things slow down in September, you might be a bit like, hang on a sec, what's going on here? Something's wrong. Oh no, I've broken it. That's not the case. It is actually that the universe is giving you a break. It's giving you that time to kind of switch off and say, right, take a breather. All right, October, birthday season, you got the Star card. This is beautiful, surrounded by good people, hope, optimism and joy. It also suggests that you'll be making big plans for your future. Interestingly enough, the Star card follows the Tower, and you've got it right underneath here, which I find really interesting, because this will be the last part of the year, the last quarter of the last third of the year, should I say, will definitely be of a slower ilk, right? This is where things kind of winding down. That's what happens around this time anyway. But for you especially, things will be kind of taking that ease and that chill pill sort of vibe. October, birthday season, you're just enjoying it. You're surrounded by loved ones, friends, family, beautiful. But you will be planning for the future. You'll be planning something big for your future as well. Then you've got the Death card, right? So for some of you, this could be about planning a move, and a big move at that. Maybe one that is overseas, maybe one that's over abroad somewhere. That's definitely a possibility for a lot of you. The other thing with the Death card and the Star card, it could represent you maybe changing the way that you do business, or changing the way that you do your work, or maybe changing the place that you work at, for a select few of you. All right, okay, so November. You got the Strength card, right? So November is going to be an interesting time, because it might be, October, you could be saying goodbye to someone, or several someones. And when I say goodbye, not necessarily a death, but it might be the end of a certain connection or collaboration. Strength card in November sees you, and happy birthday as well for those of you that are celebrating in October. The Strength card, it really feels for me like this is about having the courage to face a new beginning. November could be something, could really bring you something where things are really different, where things begin to change for you. So it's, kind of learning how to deal with that, how to factor those changes in. Let's give it some context with the 10 of Wands, right? So something that has been weighing on your heart, and for some of you, it might be that a goodbye has been coming, and you've been putting it off, and I'm too busy to deal with that, I'll deal with it later. And then here in October and November, you can't ignore it anymore. This is where the universe says you have to have the courage to face these things. I've given you all of the resources that you need. You've done all of the spiritual growth that you need. Here in November, I need you to be brave enough to claim your own liberation. Why do I say that? Right? The Strength card, the courage to do what needs to be done, to utilize your strength in a way that needs to be. The 10 of Wands, the unburdening, when you release the burden, when you finally let something go. You've been building up to this. You've been given all of the strength and the tools that you needed. Now the universe demands that you use them. Like I said, this could be a move abroad for some of you. I mean, look, he's transporting his wands elsewhere. Couldn't say it any plainer. All right, so your December of 2020, you have the Judgment card. This will be a month where everything kind of comes full circle, right? This will be a month where you kind of get a chance to look at everything. You might have a big blast from the past here. If you are moving, it could be that you're moving somewhere that you've lived before, or somewhere that you've wanted to live before. That you could be having a blast from the past, and this blast from the past may be an ex. It may be a previous relationship. It might even be somebody that you never expected to hear from again, and they just kind of randomly show up. It could see you crossing paths with somebody of that nature. And then finally, to give it some context, you've got the Queen of Swords, right? So this could be when I say an old battle, it might be something that you thought was done, right? And in your mind, it probably is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have processed how it made you feel, that you have really gotten rid of, because the Queen of Swords is about fighting for something, right? She's very antagonistic very often. I always say she's got a mouth like a sewer, a heart full of gold. Interestingly enough, as a star sign, the Queen of Swords represents Libra, right? So there's something about your energy that is shifting and evolving, but it's in response and relation to an event that's already taken place. And because it comes through the guise of the Judgment, this is a blast from the past. There could be something on an internal level that you maybe haven't processed yet, or maybe haven't dealt with as much as you thought. It could be that an ex or a partner is coming back in. It might be, for some of you, a relationship that ends throughout this year, or a collaboration that ends throughout this year might come back. It might be up for review and say, right, okay, if we're going to do this and we are actually going to pursue, this relationship, this collaboration, this partnership, whatever, we're going to have to look at the facts, right? We're going to have to really go through what all of the mitigating circumstances might be. So it's an interesting year for you guys. Let's have a look at your key to the year. I mean, so far, I have to say you guys have had the best year out of pretty much anybody. And some other people got really good cards, but nobody had a year like this. You got the World card, right? I mean, you got the World card twice. And this is about you stepping up. It's about you leveling up. It's about you mastering life. You got the Hierophant card twice. You got the World card twice. What else did you get? And you got 2 10s as well. So this is really about you stepping out of the old era of life, out of one way of being, and stepping into the new one. Because you do have that world card there, your key to the year is basically to meet all of your challenges head on and to utilize the courage and the skills that you have gained over a lifetime, over the last decade especially, and apply them to the things that come up this year. I mean, like I said, you have an amazing year ahead of you. Just be sure to utilize everything that that you've got within you. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Some people check in once, some people come in and check it twice, beginning and end of the year. Some people every 3 months, some people every 4 months, but check in regularly just to see how it shapes up for you, just to see whether it resonates or whether it doesn't. Either way, I'm always interested to hear, because that helps me develop my skills. I wish you all of the best. Have a fantastic 2020. Take care, and I'll see you soon.